at 6.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's just about 6 o'clock, and we are just about to hear from Western New York leaders in Erie County about the update on this windstorm.
Yesterday, they were saying the North Town's being hit hard. Now we know that the wind is causing big problems around Western New York, especially when it comes to the power outages for NYSEG and National Grid customers. We were hearing moments ago from Erie County officials that NYSEG and National Grid crews can't do anything until the winds die down. Let's listen to that press conference.
Joined today, this morning, by our Deputy Commissioner of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, Greg Butcher, and by our Special Assistant to the Commissioner of DPW, John Rivera. I want to give you some updates today about some road closures this morning, and then I want to talk a little bit about the power outages that we have gotten recordings of and what some of the plan is to restore those power outages. I also just want to take a minute and thank you for being here. The most important thing we can do in these types of situations is to communicate directly with the public. We can't do that without support from the media, so I do want to thank you for joining us this morning. Road closures. Of course, there is a travel advisory throughout Erie County that remains in effect indefinitely for now. Route 5 is closed. Lakeshore Road in Hamburg is closed. Shimerville Road in Clarence, closed. Trevitt Road in Concord near Zor Valley is closed. Indian Church Road from Harlem to the Buffalo city limit is closed. And Brown Hill Road between Farner and Trevitt in the town of Boston is also closed. In terms of power outages, let me give you the most up-to-date information that we have. NYSEG has approximately 22,140 people without power. National Grid, slightly less than that, 19,824 without power. That's just here in Erie County. Orchard Park, town of Aurora, city of Tonawanda, and the town of Amherst have been the hardest hit areas. I can tell you I was in touch just this morning with the folks from National Grid and NYSEG who are here in our Emergency Operations Center. National Grid reports that they have 900 extra people in town presently to support them. Those consist of line service folks, forestry folks, damage assessment, and they are expecting another 50 people joining them today. What is the plan for restoration? Overnight, the focus was really on rendering the downed lines safe, and it's important that we communicate to the public that we cannot start to fix the lines until the maximum wind speeds drop below 40 miles per hour, and that is not projected for some time yet, likely not until sometime quite later this afternoon. So we know that folks are frustrated with the lack of power and, frankly, the lack of clarity about when that power will be restored. We are in the process of working with the folks from National Grid and NYSEG to do rolling assessments. Those assessments will take place as daylight breaks, and NYSEG and National Grid will update their websites at that point and then continue to update us. We encourage you, obviously, if you wake up without power, to call in any overnight outages so that they can have the most up-to-date information. And by 10 o'clock this morning, we are anticipating holding an emergency manager's call with National Grid and NYSEG to be able to provide more specific updates to us by 10 a.m. this morning. So naturally, we will be reporting out what we know at that point, as will National Grid and NYSEG. Really, the last thing I want to conclude with, we have no reports of death or even serious injury as a result of that storm. That's in good part to the public heeding the warnings and, of course, to the media and communicating those messages. Last thing I want to convey, to continue to get up-to-date, really current information from the county, I really urge you to download the Ready Erie app. You can get update briefings from the National Weather Service directly, road closure information, all of that, including how to set up a security plan for your family, is all available on that app. With that, I'd like to introduce our Deputy Commissioner, Greg Butcher.
Good morning, everyone. Again, thank you for joining us. Just a couple of pointed things to go over. Obviously, we have other concerns in addition to the power outages. Low-lying areas for flooding are still of concern. As you heard everyone mention, as well as the reports you're getting from the National Weather Service, this is still considered a significant event and will continue to be a significant wind event for the near future. We are actively checking areas. The Sheriff's Patrol on Grand Island is looking for flooding. They have seen high water, but no flooding at this point. The City of Tonawanda Police are also reporting no flooding, but the water is still considerably high there. On Southern Erie County, the Evans Police are reporting that they're seeing a slight decrease in the water levels. We just want to also touch on a couple of health reminders. There are a lot of people utilizing generators during this power outage event, and carbon monoxide is a concern for everyone. Please make sure you follow common practice instructions that are provided with your generators and keep them at least 20 feet away from your house and provide them with an ample amount of ventilation. Individuals who are relying on medical devices that are critical to their health are reminded to be in contact with their provider, whether it be National Grid or NYSEG. We'll give you those numbers right now in the event that you are not in contact with them and you are a critical care customer. So the NYSEG number is 800-572-1131. Again, NYSEG is 800-572-1131. National Grid is 800-6.
Right, there we go. Still hearing from Erie County leaders, a number of things we need to run over with you. We've got about 42,000 people still in Erie County without power, and they're going to continue to update that throughout the morning.
And that's Erie County alone. We're hearing Orchard Park, the town of Aurora, East Aurora, Amherst hit the hardest. Again, so it really varies between the north towns and the south towns. Let's run down what we heard in terms of travel advisories and closures for you this morning, because that's what's going to affect you most this morning. There's a travel advisory in Erie County until further notice. Route 5 is closed completely. Lakeshore Road in Hamburg is closed. Shimerville Road in Clarence is closed. And Indian Church Road from Harlem to the Buffalo City line also closed this morning. Really, those power outages also going to be affecting so many people, and they don't know when the power is going to be back on because they can't assess really or get to work on those down lines until winds drop below 40 miles an hour, and that could be some point later today.
They're going to reconvene again with leaders from those power companies around 10 o'clock this morning, and then they'll just have to reevaluate. Also important to note, there is a travel advisory in Niagara County as well.
All right, let's check your most accurate forecast, right? Aaron Minkowski's been on top of this for days now. He was here with you yesterday on Facebook.